126 actual. Target is in the main house. You have execute authority.
Bravo 6. Going dark.
How's it going, troops? Jordan here, back again with another Call of Duty Modern Warfare Loadout video. Today's loadout video is going to be a fun one. We're going to be taking a trip all the way back to the year 2007 when the original Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare released. So today's loadout video is happily titled COD4 Veteran. So without further ado, let's take a look at our mission briefing. This is a class setup that's going to be replicating a popular loadout that was used back in the days of Call of Duty 4 multiplayer. As such, we're going to be using weaponry, equipment, perks and killstreaks from the original Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare game. I can already tell a lot of people are going to get some nostalgia from using this class setup. And be prepared to get your mind blown as Modern Warfare meets Modern Warfare. So to start off this loadout, we're going to be taking a look into the primary weapon section. There were a few weapons in Call of Duty 4 that stood out among the rest of them, most notably weapons such as the M16 and the MP5. However, I feel like out of those two weapons, I feel like the M16 was the more popular weapon, and as such, we're going to be building that weapon inside Modern Warfare. And so for our base weapon, we're going to be going with the M4A1. In order for us to convert the M4A1 into an M16A4, let's take a look at some attachments that we're going to be equipping onto this weapon. First up for the barrel, we're going to be going with the Corvus Custom Marksman. Now there's another barrel that's for the M4A1, that's a Grenadier version. But if you actually look at the M16A4 from COD4, the Corvus Custom Marksman is the exact same one, and as such we're going to be going with that for our barrel. For the optic, we had a couple of choices. We could have gone with the Operator Reflex sight, but for me I felt like the GI Mini Reflex was actually more accurate in terms of the framing of the optic. That was used back in Call of Duty 4 as the red dot sight. Both of these optical sights are very similar in terms of looks, and as such, that is why we're going to be going with the GI Mini Reflex. For our third attachment, we're going to be going with a stock, and that stock is of course the M16 stock. I don't really need to explain why we've gone with this attachment. I think the name M16 stock is very self-explanatory. It's your standard M16 stock that you do find on M16A4 rifles. Moving on to our fourth attachment, and that is going to be a perk, and that perk of course is Burst. The M4A1 as standard is a fully automatic weapon, whereas the M16A4 is a 3-round burst weapon. But we can quickly fix that by equipping the Burst perk, which fires the M4A1 in 3-round bursts. And lastly, for our final attachment, for the ammunition, we're going to be going with 50-round mags. Now you're probably thinking, why 50-round mags when a normal M16A4 is 30? The reason why I've gone with this attachment is purely for aesthetic reasons. The magazine on the M4A1 looks nothing like a magazine that you find on an M16A4, but if you equip the 50-round mags attachment onto this weapon, the magazine is exactly what you'd find on an M16A4. And that is going to be our primary weapon that we're going to be using with this class setup. Moving on now to our secondary weapon of choice. Again, with the secondary weapons that you find in Call of Duty 4, there's a couple that do stand out, such as the M1911 and also the Desert Eagle. But I think we can all agree that the Desert Eagle was the more popular choice of sidearm, especially with Call of Duty 4 having two different versions, that being the normal Desert Eagle and of course the Gold Desert Eagle, which you unlocked at level 55. And so the Desert Eagle is going to be our weapon of choice. Although in Modern Warfare 2019, the Desert Eagle is renamed as the .50 GS, and GS obviously standing for General Shepherd, which is a reference back to Modern Warfare 2. In terms of attachments, just like in Call of Duty 4 multiplayer, we couldn't equip any attachments to this particular weapon, and so to go along with the theme of being a COD4 veteran, we're going to be equipping no attachments for the Desert Eagle. So let's move on now and let's take a look at some perks and equipment that we're going to be using for this loadout. For the first perk, we're going to be going with Double Time. Now, Double Time wasn't a perk that was used back in Call of Duty 4, but there was a perk called Extreme Conditioning, which is very similar to what this perk is in Modern Warfare 2019. For our second tier perk, we're going to be going with Ghost. Back in COD 4, there were two particular perks that were very popular, that being Stopping Power and Juggernaut. However though, back in the tier 2 section in Call of Duty 4, there was a perk called UAV Jammer, which is basically what Ghost is now. And since there is no Stopping Power perk or Juggernaut perk, we're going to be going with Ghost for our second tier perk. And lastly, for tier 3, we're going to be going with Shrapnel. Now Shrapnel in this game is very similar to Frag times 3 back in Call of Duty 4. The only difference is rather than equipping 3 grenades, you can only equip 2. But the perk is still very similar in terms of what it does. and so that's why we're going to be going with shrapnel as our 3rd tier perk. So those are going to be all the perks we're going to be going with for this loadout. Now it's time to take a look at our lethal and tactical equipment that we're going to be going for this class setup. For the lethal, we're going to be going with your typical frag grenade. As I said, back in Call of Duty 4 it was literally grenade spam heaven. Everyone would literally equip frag times 3, and as soon as they spawn in they'd just be chucking them grenades across the map, hoping to get a bunch of random kills. This actually pissed off a lot of players back in Call of Duty 4, and as the years went by, the lethality of the frag grenade became less and less and less. But in Modern Warfare 2019, frag grenades are about as lethal as ever, and so pairing this piece of equipment up alongside the shrapnel perk is going to make your enemies rage and us feeling happy. For the tactical slots, we're going to be going with the stun grenade. Again, this was kind of more of a personal choice. You could either go with the flash grenade or the stun grenade, but for me I felt like the stun grenade was more popular in that game, purely because one, you could actually toss them out much quicker than a flash, and also stun grenades can disable claymores, which are a current nuisance in Modern Warfare 2019. So now that we've covered the perks and equipment for this COD4 veteran loadout, let's take a look at our field upgrade and our kill streaks to finish off this class setup. For the field upgrade, I think this was pretty much an obvious choice, and that is stopping power. As I mentioned before, stopping power used to be a tier 2 perk back in Call of Duty 4, but 12 years later in Modern Warfare 2019, stopping power is back, but now as a field upgrade. I don't really need to explain what stopping power does, but for those who never played the older games, basically stopping power gives you increased bullet damage against your enemies. Moving on now to our kill streaks, and of course the first one is going to be the UAV. The UAV is a drone that flies above the map and provides us with a radar sweep on our minimap. This of course is the first of the 3 kill streaks that were available back in Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, and so that's why it's going to be the first kill streak of choice to go with. For the second kill streak, we're going to be going with the precision airstrike. When calling in the precision airstrike, 2 Warthog jets come sweeping in onto the map, raining a fire of bullets. And of course, similar to the UAV back in COD4, the precision airstrike was the second of the 3 available kill streaks back in Call of Duty 4 multiplayer, and so it makes sense to go with this as our second kill streak for the loadout. And finally, our third kill streak is the support helo. Now there wasn't a support helo of such back in Call of Duty 4, but the final kill streak in Call of Duty 4 was the attack helicopter. And since technically there is no attack helicopter in Modern Warfare 2019, the support helo is the closest thing to it. This is essentially similar to the Pavlo. This kill streak is a heavily armed helicopter that roams around the map and takes out any enemies that it can find. And by combining those 3 kill streaks together, you have your kill streaks back from Call of Duty 4 12 years ago. So troops, that wraps up my Call of Duty 4 or COD4 veteran loadout video. I have to say that putting this class setup together was really fun to do. I think it's really cool to look back at the older Call of Duty titles and try to replicate those loadouts from those games. And I'm definitely looking forward to making a Modern Warfare 2 veteran class setup video, a Modern Warfare 3 one, a Black Ops 1, a Black Ops 2 one. I could go on forever. So next time you go into Modern Warfare multiplayer, definitely make a loadout with this configuration and have fun reminiscing the golden days of Call of Duty. If you did enjoy this video, then do give the video a thumbs up, I would appreciate it a lot. Don't forget to share the video around with your friends if they're interested in this sort of content. And if you haven't subscribed already, make sure you do subscribe to the channel and also hit that bell notification button, that way you're always notified of when I make an upload. As I've said, I'm very interested in making a Modern Warfare 2 veteran loadout, so let me know down in the comment section below which weapon do you think in Modern Warfare 2 was the more popular weapon. Was it the FAMAS? Was it the ACR? Was it the UMP45? Let me know your opinion down in the comment section below. And also, if you have any other suggestions of what loadout I could be going with next, also put them in the comment section below because I'm always reading the comments. And until the next video, I thank you all for watching, stay true to me troops, and I'll see you in game.